Thank you, Ingmar. Good morning, everyone. Thank you also to the organization for hosting us. I see a lot of familiar faces indeed, Ingmar, from yesterday, and also from other conferences, I believe, and some colleagues from the Netherlands. Always good to see you. Yes, well, what I'm going to talk about today, I'm standing in front of you. This is better. I'm going to talk about mainly the direction 2getthere will follow, and we believe that's the right direction, of course, to follow. I will briefly guide you through the history we have. I'm pretty sure you all, most of you have seen my colleague Robert already. He and my other colleague Carol, they talked a lot about the history and all the system we have in place and the experience we have. So I don't want to take too long for that. I mainly want to look at the future. And I also like to keep it very interactive if possible. So any discussions, any questions, my presentation is fairly short. So please don't hesitate to interrupt me or ask anything, okay? All right, like I promised, our brief history. 2getthere originated from Frog, and Frog is in the automation of mainly industry systems. And at some point in time, they were thinking, why not move people? When we can move goods, why not move people? And that's really how it started. Back in '97, we had a system running at Schiphol Airport, where we used a transport form to transport people from around the P3 parking place. This was really, to be honest, a machine that people could step in. It was safe, but it wasn't very comfortable. And of course, this evolved over time. Our first application in Vivian was at '99 already, with our first generation GRT vehicle. Again, more or less like a machine where people could get in. And at Floriade we also tried a different form, and that was the chassis of a golf cart. And well, we were like, well, we could try it, maybe it's worthwhile. But after running a lot of miles on the Floriade on top of a viewpoint, the main conclusion was, okay, the golf cart isn't a suitable chassis to move people around in a frequent way. In 2006, important date for us, we started using our second generation GRT at Rivium in Capelle aan de IJssel. Of course, a much better improvement from the first vehicle, which was again more like a machine. But again, this technology, and a lot of you saw it yesterday, and I'm not sure if... Has anyone not heard of the Rivian application? No? Okay, good. This is already technology that's 13 years old. The vehicles were developed 14 years ago, and it's still running. We've transported more than 6 million passengers over there so far. And the vehicles, each vehicle has run more than 200,000 kilometers. Another important date for us was Mazhar, Abu Dhabi. I'm not sure if everyone was there. I hope for you were, of course. This is a PRT system that's been running since 2010, and we're expecting our 2 millionth passenger at the end of this year. So also a nice milestone for us. Well, we currently are working on our third generation GRT vehicle. That will be operational as well next year. For those of you who were there yesterday, we are not formally allowed to introduce the location yet, but our CEO Carol was a bit enthusiastic yesterday. This I can tell you, it's in the Middle East. And it will transport around 3,500 passengers per direction per hour. So that's a pretty big application. Again, Vivian Mazhar, normally we have nice pictures and videos of them. In matters of this presentation, I will skip those, unless there are any questions about these. No? The demonstrations you see here, one is in Monaco, the other one is in Antibes, and the one on the right is in Delft, were in 2003, 2004. I have to say that's a long time ago, and what worries me a little is that we still see more or less the same forms of demonstrations. So that's why we have this question mark. Is this really looking forward, or is it repeating what we can already do? We believe this is looking forward. This is a design of our third generation GRT. We expect the first prototypes to come off the production facilities beginning of next year. And of course this is just a design. We can modify it in numerous colors, and the interior we can change, and we can do a lot inside and outside. But the basis will stay the same. This vehicle can transport up to 24 passengers. And well, we strongly believe that with this vehicle we are ready for the future, and we can apply this in several situations. And these are mainly the most important markets that we see and that we truly believe in. To start with the picture on the left, I hope it's visible enough. The automated people mover, mostly it's elevated, giving you higher speeds, good throughputs, and high passenger services, and you are able to transport higher amounts of passengers. Of course this is separated, but I always ask my clients, what's the use of mixed operations when you're as fast as the slowest user of that road? So if you want high throughput, we suggest our clients to go ahead with an APM. The other one is like Rivian. It's an automated transit network. Mostly similar. It's still on a somewhat dedicated track, but it has more interaction with other road users. We can use crossings, we can operate at grade, even mix, for example, on a bus lane. That's already technically possible. So that might be suitable for other urban areas and of course business parks, etc., etc. The picture on the right, shared autonomous vehicles. Well, I heard the speaker before me talk about that. Of course, that's also a direction we are looking at, but we have to keep in mind what's the purpose of sharing the roads when the roads are congested. So we are very cautious with it. Also, it brings some technical issues. For example, current techniques aren't sufficient enough to cope with every single situation that you occur on the public road. But of course, it's a way to go, and already there's a lot possible technically, but there are still some holdbacks in technique. No questions?
Yeah, what infrastructure do you need for this APM system?
What?
Because the vehicle, how wide is it? Is it like the park shuttle or smaller?
No, it's like the park shuttle. Mm-hmm. It's around 2.5 meters.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course we need turning radius, but the next generation GRT is bidirectional, so that saves you space in turning loops. We don't need them anymore. It's easier to cut around corners, so you need smaller turning radiuses. But of course you need an elevated infrastructure if you want it to go over the other traffic.
So you need a concrete viaduct, or do you have...
Yeah, concrete is mostly the way to go. We advise to use asphalt for smoothness, but apply concrete slurry in it for the robustness. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Another thing about the complexity. mainly if you look at the systems that are here today, and the car manufacturers that are here today, they are focusing on either a controlled environment like an APM system or a completely uncontrolled environment like the public road. Car manufacturers mostly believe that they can act in this environment from the car itself. And a controlled element, you don't need to worry about those aspects because you control the speed, you control the intersections of the system, you control the axis of the system, and you control the behavior. And with behavior, we mean behavior from other users, etc., etc. We believe there's something in the middle. And that's a semi-controlled environment. A semi-controlled environment means that you can control one of those 4 elements, or maybe 2, or maybe 3, depending on the situation. The people that saw Vivian yesterday noticed that it has access. It's very easy to get on track. We have bicyclists on track, we have pedestrians on track, sometimes even cars on track. The behavior is, well, partially influenceable. For example, we have fences, as you can see, but the only thing separating the pedestrians from the track is a little sign that says it's illegal to enter the track. That's it. But we believe it's safe enough to operate in an orderly fashion and to generate a high throughput. Some other examples, a university campus where we are able to control the speeds, of course, of our vehicles, of our system. We might be able to partially control the behavior of the other road users or the other campus users because it's more or less a closed environment. Very hard to control are the access on and around the tracks and the intersections, of course, because well, when you close everything off, it might lose the point of getting a system there. As mentioned before, a dedicated bus lane is also a very good option. We can control the speed, we can control the behavior, because the only other users on the bus track are bus drivers. Access, more or less. You see nowadays people using the bus lanes when they're not supposed to. Of course, that's a risk, but not a high risk, so it won't disable us to operate. And the same goes for the intersections.
That's 15 minutes.
Really? I thought I was short. Okay, sorry. Almost finished.